thing.
You don't mind? And at that time, I'm going to go ahead and go to the stove because it looks like my palmieres are just about ready. Let's take a peek. Oh, yeah. Look at those. Those are perfect.
Oh, wow. Those look great, Ange.
All right.
Oh, they smell so good, too.
Yeah. Let's get those right out. See that? I'm going to sneak right behind you.
Yep.
That's one of those things, like I said, we throw these in the freezer and you slice them off, and 10 minutes later, you've got this beautiful appetizer that when your friends come over, or somebody pops in and surprises you, you've got an appetizer all ready to go in the freezer. And
all in under 10 minutes.
Yeah, you've got a clean board.
I'll split
That's
one.
taste fun.
I'll split one.
Yeah. All right. So what do we got left to do?
We just got to start this ragu.
really
We got to
hot.
get these porks in the oven.
All right, you want to get your pan fired up?
Absolutely.
I know, it's wicked hot, I know.
Oh, I know. I thought about it and I was like, oh no, I'm going to burn myself.
Yeah, give it a second to cool down.
Yeah, I'm thinking these are getting ready to just go right into the oven.
All right, you ready for that?
I sure
You
am.
go ahead and do that. Rob can take the heavy pan. All right, beautiful. Let's get that one shut down. Or not. Okay, so you've got your pan all fired up and ready to go?
I do.
Perfect. You're on, you're ready.
Ready to rock and roll.
All right, so you're gonna start all the veg. Actually, quick, let's take a bite. Cheers. Those are nice.
Oh wow, those are really nice.
They're light and flaky and buttery. And the mushrooms have just enough woodsy. Those are really, really yummy. Yep. Very happy with that. Okay. So I'm going to pick some thyme for you. Because in the ragu, there we go. In the ragu, we're going to add thyme. So when you're doing thyme, you just want to, they come in like little, they're like little trees. And you want to pull the stems off. And if you just slide down, if you hold them on the tip, and then put your fingers on the side, and oops, I lost the top. And pull gently down, you get all the little leaves off. And that's what we're looking for with thyme, is the little leaves. Although when you get some little tips like this, the stems are very tender, so they're all right. It's the big woodsy part that you don't want, although they're fantastic to save and throw in with your vegetable stock, you know, all that good stuff that you have from all week when you're peeling carrots and peeling onions and the tops of your leeks and your fennel in your freezer for your vegetable stock. So I always save things like this for that. You almost
And this
ready?
is going to be going in with you, right?
Yep, you go right ahead and I'll get this going over here in this little bowl for you.
Perfect.
And then you can get the mushrooms off my board and I'll give it a chop for you. So what are you starting with? Butter, oil? What's going on?
I'm starting with a
in
little
there?
bit of canola oil because I like the high temperature. Canola oil really tends to not burn. You can burn it, but you got to bring it up to about 450 degrees.
Now you say not burn compared to what?
Compared to like an olive oil where the smoke point is a lot lower. Like I'm sure everybody at home has tried to put the olive oil into the hot pan and made the big black smoke explosion. Because the smoke point is a lot lower. But on the canola oil, it's a lot more filtered. And it's just,
You can go a
you
lot
can
higher
go real
on
high,
temperature.
like with peanut oil or walnut oil. But I really prefer the canola because it doesn't really impart an oily flavor into your food. But I'm going to dump this stuff right in here. Oh, yeah.
That's the sizzle we're looking for.
Yep, and this is just the celery, the onions, the carrots, a little bit of mushrooms, and some onions and shallots.
And you're going to take my mushrooms. Let me put them in the bowl for you.
Yep.
I'll get them all ready.
Give those a quick stir.
All right, here's some more mushrooms for you.
Let's just dump them right on in.
All right, I'm going to dump them right in with all the other aromatics that he's got going on in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pot.
That's so colorful. And I'm just going to start throwing some salt and pepper into here because really everything you cook should have salt and pepper in it.
So the salt's going to help move things along quicker?
The salt's gonna bring out a lot of the flavors from all the aromatics that we have in here.
Yep.
It's gonna leach some of the moisture out of the mushrooms as well, and it's gonna, when we have the ragu, it's gonna be really kind of creamy, but it's gonna leach out all that mushroom flavor right into this pot. It's gonna be beautiful. Oh, look at all the colors in here. That's so beautiful.
So I got about a little more than a tablespoon of thyme. Do you need more than that?
No, I think that should be plenty.
Okay. I'm going to give it a rough chop. And all I'm going to do is, again, make sure you've got a good balance on your knife. I always choke up on it. And you want to keep your tip on the board and just rock back and forth. So we're just milling through the thyme, giving it a nice chop. In case you do get any of those stems in there, you don't want to bite into them that way. Gives it a nice little chop. And it lets out a lot of the oils that are in the thyme. The smell is just, I love the smell of thyme.
Oh, I do too. It's to die for.
It's, I think, up there in my top 5. I can't put it at the top because I have such a coriander addiction.
Yes, you do.
I love the smell of dried coriander. I love to use it in all kinds of yummy things.
Yep. And our leeks have just come out of their bath, and they are nice and clean.
Okay.
No more of that dirt after they soaked in there for a little while. So those are just going to go right in there. Sometimes you end up with a little bit of dirt on the bottom of your bowl, so you need to be really careful. Nobody likes crunchy dirt.
No.
Nobody likes crunchy dirt.
No, especially not in your food.
Oh, this is about to start smelling real good, real
Pop
fast.
that back in there. All right, so now we've got an appetizer out. What have we been working for? 10 minutes maybe?
Yeah, about 10 minutes.
We've got an appetizer out and already made. We've got the main course, the pork in the oven, already cooking. You're working on the veg, and then the only thing we have left to do is the polenta, correct?
Yeah, that's all that's left.
See how quick this is?
So quick. I mean, this is a 20-minute meal.
Dinner party.
Hands down.
That's gonna feed 6 to 8 people in no time whatsoever. And boy,
Not only feed them, but I mean, they are going to be really happy with what they're
happy
eating.
food. All
And
right.
it's real simple. You can just go out in the woods and find this stuff and take it home, clean it. Make sure it's safe to eat before you start going picking mushrooms.
And then you can base a whole meal around it. I'm gonna sneak my last bite of my palmieri here.
Yeah, we're just going to let that do its thing. Hang out for a little while.
You want to
Render
start
down.
your polenta?
I think, yeah, that's a great idea.
I can actually stir it for you if you want. Actually, can I have your bowl?
Absolutely.
I can talk a little bit about what that is. Polenta, one of my favorite side dishes. When I was a little girl, my dad would make the polenta and put it in a loaf pan. A little less cream than what we're going to do today, and it'll get nice and firm. Now, I have a large group of celiacs, people who have wheat gluten allergies who come into the restaurant. And one of my favorite tricks that I taught somebody was to take your polenta, cook it off until it's nice and thick, put it into a loaf pan with a little bit of saran wrap in it, and leave it in the refrigerator overnight. Slice it off like bread and batter it like you would French toast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that sounds awesome.
My dad used to make this for us all the time when we were kids, and it was one of my favorite breakfast things. It was hearty and warm and yummy, and it's all based out of cornmeal. So that's really all that polenta is. It's a fine cornmeal that we're gonna cook up with a little bit of vegetable stock, a little bit of heavy cream, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese, just to make it really, really savory and yummy. You also can cook it up breakfast-like and use some sugar and some cinnamon and make it a little bit sweet. But it's one of those really versatile items that they fry. You use them for an appetizer. You could cut them into little rings and fry it off. So many different things. I think it's such an underutilized.
Oh, it is. I mean,
You know-
you can grill it, you can puree it, you can batter it like French toast. I mean, so many different ways.
So
you
many
can go.
different ways. All
You
right.
can thicken sauces and soups with it.
You can thicken sauces and soups with it. Some polenta. Rob's gonna go ahead and get it started.
Yep.
What's in your pot?
I've got a little bit of vegetable stock that we had made earlier on. Just about 2 cups. So all it is carrots, onions, celery, leeks. I'm sure there's, you know, some mushroom stems in there from all the mushrooms we've had lying around, and then you just cook it down with some cold water, bring it up to a boil. 45 minutes later, you get a beautiful, beautiful vegetable stock.
I actually threw some rosemary and some sage and
Oh,
some
really?
thyme sprigs in this batch of vegetable stock, so it's gonna have a really nice flavor. I really attribute a lot of it to the leeks. I think leeks.
Oh,
and,
leeks are perfect for stock.
I love them.
Absolutely perfect.
Love
Because, I
them
mean,
to
nobody
make
likes
stock.
leek tops. They're crunchy, they're the dirtiest part.
Oh, but they make the best stock. Almost, I like them in chicken stock. I like them when we're doing veal stocks. I like them in vegetable stocks, anything. We actually are going to, we're going to fancy up the vegetable ragu a little bit today by using brandy. Now, we're not looking for anything expensive or fancy, just some, you know, a regular old brandy. It's going to give a lot of depth
Absolutely.
in the back of the mushroom ragu. When we're using the brandy, we kind of want to cut it a little bit. So what else we're going to add is a little bit of tomato paste. When we get to that, we'll show you all about it. I just want to make sure we got it open for you. And we don't need a lot. And it sounds like, you know, you're making food for dinner for the family. The brandy's all the alcohol in the brandy's all going to cook off in the ragu before it's time to eat it. So all we're going to get from this is that depth of flavor that's going to pair so nicely with the thyme and the woodiness of the mushrooms. So here, I got that all open for you whenever you're ready for it.
Perfect.
And your vegetable stock's up to a boil.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, do you want me to do the polenta or?
Sure.
Right. So here we go, polenta.
Choose your weapon.
Choose your weapon. When we start it, I'm going to start it with a whisk. Once it starts to get thick, I'll change over to a wooden spoon. Just so when it gets a little bit thick, we need to, I don't want it to get all gummy in the whisk. So our water's boiling, and we're just going to add it in and give it a stir. And make sure we don't have any chunks. And polenta's pretty quick. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Whoops.
Looks good already.
Yeah, already, right? And now I'm going to switch out to my wooden spoon. Thank you. Just because it's easier to get into your corners that way. It's got to cook a little bit more because the cornmeal has to be able to absorb all the liquid and get all nice and happy in there. Let's give it a big old pat of butter. Whoops.
So everything's better with butter.
Everything's better with butter. That's a couple of tablespoons. I'm going to add one more, like 3 tablespoons of butter.
But it's fall, why not? Butter, heavy cream, throw it all in
Sweater
there.
weather.
Yeah.
And I think I need the heavy cream, actually. You say that, and I think I'm ready for it.
There you go. You want me to just dump that
Go
right in
right
there
ahead
for you?
for me.
There we go.
Now, like I was talking about, by putting it in a loaf pan, before we add the cream, the consistency that it was, nice and thick, that would have been the perfect consistency to be able to put it in a loaf pan or lay it out on a sheet pan and let it cool, and it will make a nice, firm polenta. This way, adding the cream to it, we're going to keep it nice and creamy this way.
At this place I used to work at a few years ago, we used to make chickpea French fries.
Oh, nice.
They were really, really interesting. We did the same exact method as what you're doing now.
Yep.
And then we laid them out on a big piece of parchment paper. And you sprayed it down really, really, really well with some pan release. And then you just put it in the fridge. Let it sit there overnight with another pan on top of it. And you weight it down with a couple cans or something, about 5 to 10 pounds of weight. Let it sit there. Take it out the next morning and cut it out into French fries. And you
then
just
fry
throw
them.
them right in some oil, and they taste just like chickpea French fries.
That's pretty cool. Parmesan cheese
Parmesan
and
cheese.
salt and pepper. We're going to add some Parmesan. Now we're just flavoring. Add a bunch of, let's just throw it all in there. Again, it's sweater weather.
Yeah, right? Cheese, butter, cream. I love it all.